Welcome, everyone. I am Chris Gore. This is the Film Threat Livecast. Today on the show, we're talking about a lot of movies that are opening in theaters. First, we're going to talk about the trailer for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It's the sequel to Aquaman that we're all waiting for. Plus, films that we will discuss and review on the show. A Haunting in Venice, stop-motion animated movie about Leonardo da Vinci called The Inventor, Camp Hideout, Outlaw Johnny Black, The Retirement Plan, and Alan and I have watched the first episode of One Piece on Netflix. Plus, director Tim Brown from Retirement Plan will be here. This is the new Nicolas Cage movie. It was reviewed on the Film Threat website this week. Check out the trailer online. We'll have the director here at the very end of the show answering your questions. Plus, your comments, concerns. Maybe we'll do a poll. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to get things started. I'm wearing, you know what I'm wearing? Who am I wearing? I'm wearing Film Threat right now. Film Threat t-shirt. So let's get things started. Let's kick things off. Alan is here waiting in the wings. Where is he? Dang. He was just here. I don't know what the deal is. Nope.
Alan!
Hey, man.
Hey,
How you doing today?
you found me.
I found you. I am I might be pre-coffee, but I'm only half a cup in. I'm a half a cup in. But I've already got my other cup right here at the ready.
Mhm.
My Film Threat cup, which is the Film Threat Film Threat logo on it. You can get that mug at shop.filmthreat.com. Before we
How
get
was the
things
movie
started,
meetup yesterday?
I didn't go to the movie meetup because I went to see The Inventor, which was at a different theater. But then I ended up going to Yard House at right by the Burbank AMC 16 anyways. So there you go. All right.
I was just because I was at the AMC Orange watching Camp Hideout. It's like, oh, we could do a movie meetup here.
So what is it? The AMC Orange? Speaking of
AMC
orange,
Orange.
I look
Yeah.
orange. What am I doing? I look so orange right now.
Yeah, we could go to there's the Market Broiler. I found out does happy hour. So
Oh,
if you
they
like
do?
seafood and drinking. Yeah, that's a good place to go.
Okay.
So who knows? Who knows if I can go there consistently.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to make myself look less orange. I don't know. It's just we're talking before the stream that I just want to be able to turn on the setup and just go, but I have to turn on the setup and reset all my settings, which takes 20 minutes. So this is just me being cranky because I'm pre-coffee, complaining that I'm getting up and then I gotta I gotta. It's like I have to restart the show this differently every time.
Mhm.
Whatever. All right. Enough of my complaining. Some sad news to report. YouTuber named Gil from Cardinal Sin passed away. I found this out from Doomcock. I had appeared a few times on Cardinal Sin's channel, talking about. I think we talked about John Carpenter's The Thing, and whatnot. So I just want to pass that along to people. He was a great supporter of the channel. He sent me a box of Film Threat magazines, magazines to sign. And I signed the magazines and sent them back to him. So he was a big supporter of the channel. So there you go. I don't know, man. It's weird. I mean, what's that?
No, I'm saying we've lost 2 YouTubers recently. And,
Yeah.
And it always happens in 3, so it's either you or me. That's
Alan, always keeping it light. That's what I appreciate about you. Keeping things light and fun. But yeah, no, we had the best conversations on his channel. It was just really deep dives. I think we're going to talk about Logan's. Did we talk? I don't remember. We're always talking about, let's talk about these classic films, but we're going to do like really deep dives. So we talked about Logan's Run. We were either going to or going to talk about The Thing. I don't know, but he was a big supporter of the Film Threat channel, always lurking in the chat. And there you go. So never got to meet him face to face, but it's like a weird thing. You do develop like this relationship just from like hey, we're like-minded. We like the same things. We're both into, obscure or classic films, and then end up having these deep conversations where you get insights from people you've never met, where they see something about a movie that you never realized. So I love that. I love that the whole conversation about movies is, we're having a conversation about movies and everybody has something to contribute. And I love that. So pour one out for Cardinal Sin, Gil. And yeah, it's a shock to hear this news. All right. Let's pivot for a second. What is this? Yeah, we're not going to talk about Ahsoka this episode.
Where did that happen?
I mean, I'm sure Ahsoka will come up. But let's go to your comments before we get into the first thing we're going to tackle is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. We're going to look at the trailer. I have some comments. Alan, do you have comments?
I do have comments.
Good. Here we go. Solomon Thornton. Hey, always love it when you're here. Film Threat Friday. Yay. Jack Mason. This should be a good episode. Interested to hear about some of the smaller releases reviewed alongside Dumb Money, which is limited now in LA and New York. We should review Dumb Money then. Okay. We can do because we'll do an early review. TGT that's thank God that's Film Threat.
Yeah.
Thank Go Tits Film Threat, says Imperfect, who's a member. All right, fine, we'll do that. Hey, movie peoples, says Goober. Toxic Waltz N8. I really enjoyed Aquaman. Didn't quite understand the hate. The new trailer looks pretty dope too. Well, we'll see. Hail, Chris and Alan. Last Friday was wild, man. Lol, says Sifex. Yes, last Friday was very wild. Imperfect. Let's do a poll. Yeah, we're going to do a poll. I don't know what we're going to do a poll on. How about, will you see Aquaman 2? Yes or no? How about that? We'll do that poll. Jimmy Francis, who's a member, says condolences. I also got the news today about a passing in my non-immediate family. I hear you. It's weird. You live on a long enough timeline, you know people who've passed away. I remember when I went to my 5-year high school reunion that I knew two people who passed away. We're talking about 5 years after going to high school. So I was in my early 20s, and a girl I knew that I hung out with died of cancer, and another guy died in the military. And it was shocking to me. Like 5 years and a long enough timeline. If you look at your high school graduating class, you'll see fewer and fewer people make it. It's sad. Hey, it's me in HD, says, wonderful Friday morning with the Bert and Ernie of indie film coverage. Oh my God. We are so Bert and Ernie. I guess that it's funny because even though I'm kind of orange right now, look, I'm going to turn this. I don't know. I'm going to turn up one. All right, a little brighter. I'm definitely Bert.
Yes, you are.
And you're Ernie.
I'm definitely Ernie.
So you're the fun one. You're the one. Okay, so now we have to do a video of you in a bathtub with Rubber Ducky.
Or you and I in bed together. Were they in bed together? Or were they in separate beds? I don't remember.
That was another video that has been deleted and will never be shown on the show again, which was last week.
Oh, that was a good video.
Yeah. Well, we're retiring a lot of these videos. Like, I'm just saying that, we just can't constantly rerun videos.
Hi, Dad, I miss you.
I think your daughter is back from her European trip.
She is.
So, yeah, I guess we're the Bert and Ernie of indie film coverage. That would make a great quote on like a poster. Not Siskel and Ebert, the Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, what would be our signature thumbs up or thumbs down?
Well, it's like, how many rubber duckies do you give it?
Yeah.
So,
Rubber duckies or pigeons.
okay. And let's see. Yeah. Yes, R.I.P. Cardinal Sin, you will be missed, says Dark Shadow Logan. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's weird to I remember when I was a kid and just knowing people who had passed away. And it's like now, like being on YouTube as short a time as we've been to know YouTubers that we've interacted with who passed away is I mean, it's bizarre. So just shout out to Cardinal Sin. He was really just appreciated our work at Film Threat, was a big supporter, loved Film Threat magazine going back to the beginning. And I don't know. Yeah, it's very sad. From Rumble, 194629 says, I took your recommendation for Gran Turismo for Father's Day. Everyone liked that. Blanchett's Galadriel has gravitas. Yes.
She didn't do a whole lot in that movie either, but you just felt it. You felt the gravitas.
Look, I made this comment because at least the actors that they're hiring for Disney Star Wars, they tend to hire women who just have no gravitas. But there are plenty of actresses who have gravitas. Meryl Streep, Helen Mirren, Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
I mean, Tar last year was fantastic.
Absolutely. I mean, you can build it. I mean, you can build gravitas over your career. I mean, I think that's ultimately why Samuel L. Jackson worked as Nick Fury, because we know him, but there are people who just exude it. I mean, I think Chris Hemsworth as Thor, just instantly got gravitas for that character, especially. So it's all about casting. It's all about your ability to exude gravitas, even if no one's ever met you.
And from Rumble, a comment, Bert and Ernie Film Thread t-shirt. Well, we're about to do, like we always do this in the fall, as we kind of add new t-shirts to our, to the store. So we're going to be adding another round of shirts. Someone should do a creepy looking Bert and Ernie, but it's Alan and ours face grafted onto Bert and Ernie, and then just Film Threat, but in the Sesame Street lettering.
Or worse, we elongate your head and then we squish mine.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, is just take the facial features and graft it into Bert's thing. You might want to just add like dark eyebrows to mine, so it kind of looks like Bert, and then maybe the orange nose. So do the orange nose on me. Like, I don't know. Can anyone do that? We don't have a legion of memers like, like FNT does. But I know some of the legion of memers watch this show. I hung out with one at Chrissy Mayer's show.
Yeah, I did too. Same person.
The same person. Why am I? He's just a very enthusiastic. Yeah. Oh, wait. Leo Cody says Bert and Ernie video incoming.
Yeah, you knew.
Oh, no. Thank you, Leo. Leo sends us videos.
You might want to save that one too till we get to the trailer reaction.
Oh, okay, cool. We're going to save that for when we get to the trailer reaction. Let's get right to it. Let's jump right in, folks, because we have a lot of movies to review today, and we have a special guest coming on. Alan and I will react to the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom trailer. This is our trailer reaction. We're going to be pausing it. We'll be pausing it throughout to comment on things, but we're going to check this out. Now, Aquaman, I thought the movie was fine. Was it great? No. Was I entertained? Yeah, I was perfectly entertained. Here's the thing. I don't know that I really like Jason Momoa's interpretation of Aquaman as sort of an aqua bro, a drunken biker I imagine him more comfortably riding a Harley Davidson than a seahorse. So I was not over the moon about Aquaman. I thought it was just okay. So when they announced that there would be an Aquaman 2, I think that was in the enthusiasm of, DC not knowing exactly what they're doing. And as everyone is aware, who knows what the fate of Aquaman will be, because there's the James Gunn version of the DC universe. It's all about to get a reboot. And this is the last of the Snyderverse films. So let's take a look. Alan, we're going to look at it.
Yep.
I got to put my headphones on to be able to hear it. So here we go. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Yep. Decent effect here, by the way.
Here we go. Hang on, I'm going to turn on the sound. Here we go. Let me know if you can hear it. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, you might want to turn it down. And yeah, it's Xbox. Remember them? They still exist. You're muted.
Remember comic books? Look,
yeah,
I think it's possible. This is where I see this now. Because I'm an optimistic person. All right. I think this is so bad. It looks so god awful. Terrible CG. I can't sit here and argue with you that the special effects from Flash Gordon, starring Sam Jones, with Max von Sydow as Ming, I can't argue that the special effects in that movie are good. They are objectively not good.
But there was no expectation that you were going to get great special effects.
Exactly.
Flash Gordon was set up as you're going to watch a campy story being told.
Right. So this has that vibe. This has that what I'm saying is this looks so bad it could be good. Like it sort of comes out the other end. It's like trauma movies, which I happen to personally love trauma films. So I love trauma movies because they're not trying to be good, right? Mm-hmm. They're trying to entertain. Look at any trauma movie. Poultrygeist, one of my favorites. Citizen Toxic Avenger, amazing. Like you could go through Sergeant Kabuki Man. Just Trauma's War. They're not trying to be good films. They're trying to entertain you with how bad they are sometimes. And even, if you look at James Gunn, his movie Super, he basically made a thoughtful trauma movie. So Super is very trauma. And you should say Ellen Page is actually very good in that film. There's a shocking moment with her character in it because she works at a comic book store and she meets the guy, she meets, Rainn Wilson's character, who's a superhero, wants to be his sidekick, and she's way too enthusiastic. If you have not seen James Gunn's Super, that is the movie that got him the job to direct the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So check out Super however you can.
By the way, the new Toxic Avenger will premiere in a few weeks at Fantastic Fest.
Well, there you go. Look, I'm gonna be optimistic. This does not look like a good movie. Yep. It actually looks terrible. The special effects look bad. It looks like a video game. And when I say video game, I mean like PS3, PS4, PS5. It's fantastic. 4K. Amazing. But I think this is so bad it could be good. I'm predicting I might be entertained. It depends on how many Trulies I'm able to ingest before seeing the film and then staying awake for the entire thing. I'll let you know. So there you go. Alan, what are your thoughts?
This trailer does not sell the movie well. I feel like that maybe what we're going to get is going to be better than what the trailer is presenting here. Because all the trailer is basically pretty images cut together. And the story, there's nothing that's selling me on why I should see Aquaman, other than maybe I'm a fan of Aquaman. Right. Again, I've already put my foot in my mouth by saying that Ryan Coogler could do magic with Black Panther 2. I've learned my lesson. I like seeing the fact that James Wan is involved in this and co-wrote and directed it, but this is just not. It's not selling it, and let's just say that the special effects here were much better than what we were presented with Black Panther 2. And I'm still not that
Right.
excited about this.
Right. So I don't know. Again, I'm going to stay optimistic. So bad, it could be good. But let's go to your comments and questions here. Real quick, here we go. Did anyone else pause the Aquaman trailer? At the point where Patrick Wilson, shirtless, wet, with long blonde hair out of the ocean, I sat there and said, wow, that's the Aquaman we should have gotten. Juxtapose, I agree. Patrick Wilson would have been good.
Yeah.
The problem is when Zack Snyder cast the DC universe, he cast the Justice League, and he cast them kind of like, well, I'm going to make Superman and Batman mega chads. I'm going to have Aquaman be a mega chad. I'm going to have Cyborg be kind of a mega chad. And then I'm going to have sort of a somewhat on the spectrum Flash, who's the comic relief. But you're right, Patrick Wilson, if he had blonde hair and the suit, fits better in the suit. It looks ridiculous. I'm sorry. Jason Momoa in the orange and green, like Aquaman traditional outfit, it doesn't fit him. It doesn't fit him at all. They're just saying like, that's from the comic book. Just put him in the comic, which is fine, but it doesn't work to me. But you're right. Juxtapose. Very astute remark.
Okay. Hey, let me ask you this. What makes
Sure.
more money, the Marvels or Aquaman?
Okay. Should we make a prediction?
Yeah, we should do that.
Okay. I actually think Aquaman will make more money.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that the Marvels will make a lot of money. I think it's going to tank because people are tired of Marvel. And I just don't think that, I think Brie Larson is still unlikable, but I think, so can people in the chat hold me to this and remember this? I predict, because Jason Momoa is really popular. Women like Jason Momoa. They just do. It makes their nether regions turn into pufferfish.
Yeah. And you have Patrick Wilson involved as well.
Someone is going to clip me saying Jason Momoa turns women's nether regions into pufferfish. If you know what pufferfish do. Yeah. Chris, has no one ever had this talk with you about how babies are made? Says Lod689. I don't know, what's that in reference to?
Whose baby? Where'd that baby come from?
Yes, that's true. Well, I'm just saying, who is the mother? That kind of annoys me too, is emasculating, yet another male character being emasculated in a film. Look, I roll my eyes because it's so predictable. From Rumble, and thank you to everyone watching on Rumble. We appreciate you. I see you, everyone on Rumble. Peasy supporter says the whole thing looks like the Goop world from Quantum Mania, where everything is just meaningless, colorful stuff nobody can recognize. Bingo. That is a great comment. It looks just like Goop. And also what I don't like is it's very obvious that a lot of the times when they're underwater, they're just in front of a green screen on being, levitated on some rope or something. It just looks bad. It looks bad. Hey, the Quiet Lion coming in hot with a super chat says, happy Friday, gents. Do you think there's any chance at all that James Gunn might consider changing course for his new DC at all? If Aquaman 2 happens to be a success, or is it foolish to still hope? I think that DC is a mess. And I think that James Gunn is very talented. And I think that no matter what he does, it really is the audience is tired of constantly pivoting.
Yeah.
One thing you got to give Marvel credit for is that Marvel stuck with this plan and for 10 years made 22 movies that told one, overall arching story, and it worked.
Yeah, they were all successful movies. Not
They
not
were
a
all,
flop in the bunch
yeah. Well, for the most part. I
for the
mean,
most part.
I'm
I
talking
mean,
about phase 1, 2, and 3, not phase
right.
4. Phase 4.
That's what I'm referring to.
Right.
Yeah, all the way up to Endgame. Look, I will tell you this: if DC is a mess, there's one way to not make it a mess. Just make your Superman movie and go from there. So
Right.
so whatever plans you had, shut them down. The strike. Guess what? This strike is great for you because you can just shut everything down. Make your Superman movie. Go from there.
Well, you can't make your Superman movie because they don't have a deal with SAG and blah 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 blah.
No, but the thing is that the Superman movie is for all intent and purpose. It's the next movie. So here you go, your chance to lay a foundation, and to say, okay, we made this movie. Now we know what direction we can go in, rather than saying, look, we got these TV series, we got all this, we got the movies, blah blah blah, Batman. That you have now a chance to not do the Batman version you're thinking of and do a different Batman version based on the success of Superman.
Right. Thank you, Quiet Lion. Berserker says, I struggle to care about underwater world. It seems formless. And Juxtapose says, Patrick Wilson with long hair looks like Aquaman. Agree. Dennis Wright. I have Dwight Schrute on my mind because of Rainn Wilson. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. It is to some extent, but when, Captain Marvel made $1 billion. It was between two of the biggest Marvel movies, two Avengers movies, and the cliffhanger to Infinity War led directly to Captain Marvel. So a lot of people were interested. Okay. And I did not like that movie. But you're right. I think in this world, it's been so long. When did the first Aquaman movie come out, Alan?
Oh, that's easy. 2000 Aquaman 2018.
So it came out 5 years ago. That's a really long time. So if they had released the sequel sooner, I think it might have benefited. But I will say, Jason Momoa, strong male lead. Women like that. Women like to see strong beefcake men doing stuff. So, but Dennis, you are, that's a very good comment. Asians make better action movies, says Imperfect. And Jose for 199 says, did you talk about One Piece? Thoughts on it? We haven't gotten to it yet. We're just, show's 2 hours, so we got time. We're going to get to it. And Faux Peasy, sub-supporter, is now a monthly supporter on Rumble. Well, thank you for that. All right, final thoughts, Alan. What'd you think?
Not a good trailer. Just a visual mess. And we'll see it because we have to.
Well, at least there is a trailer. So because there was some concern after Dune moved to March of next year, March 2024, that Aquaman might move. It's coming out December 20th. And here's why I think it could do really well. Last year, Avatar, The Way of Water, did very well. Another water movie. Okay. And also during the holidays, a lot of bad movies do really well. And can I explain why? My theory? Here's my theory. Glenn, cut this for a short. Here's my theory as to why bad movies do really well over the holidays. It's because when you look at the, different types of films you could see over the holidays, you've sort of got depressing Oscar contenders. You've got movies clearly only made for little kids like Paw Patrol and whatnot. And then there'll be the one movie that's in the middle that the entire family can just decide upon. Like, do we all want to see Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom? Fine, that's the movie we're going to go see. Because you've got younger members of the family arguing that they want to see this little kid movie. You've got older members of the family saying, I want to see this, 3-hour Oscar, potential epic. Whatever. No, we're going to see Aquaman. Fine. It's the movie. This also happens with television shows, with the exception of the NFL. It's like, what can the entire family agree upon? So there you go. Alan, we have to pivot, but give me a moment here. Give me a moment. So
You want me to talk? Because there's a great discussion going on about Asian action movies in the chat. And so I'm not going to pull most of them up, but I do agree with Ron Smith there. I love Joyride. Your daughter should totally see it. Go X-Ray Girl. Yeah, X-Ray Girl should see it. I'm not sure about my actual daughter.
I tried to convince X-Ray Girl to go see Joyride. I'm like, how have you not seen it? You're betraying your people.
She is.
You've not seen Joyride.
She needs to support our people.
It's that good. All right. We're pivoting. Here. Hang on. All right, we're going to pivot and we're going to do some quick rapid fire reviews of movies that are playing in theaters. So Alan, tell us about Camp Hideout.
Yeah, Camp Hideout. So this is a faith-based movie. It stars Corbin Bleu and Christopher Lloyd, which is a good enough reason to see it. But basically a story of I need to pull up the IMDb page because I'm just gonna screw up all the names. So give me 1 second here. All right. So it stars a young teen named Jake. Sorry, not Jake, Noah. He's been kind of hanging out with the wrong people. He gets a hold. He hangs out with these gangster dudes. He gets a hold of a Nintendo Switch, although they don't call it that in the movie. That has information on it that the gangster dudes are protecting. He steals it, and they, none the wiser. And he goes home, and we find out that he lives kind of in a halfway home. He's been in trouble a lot lately. His parole officer is Selena. She's concerned about him and decides that the best thing for him is to send him to the church camp that she works at. And so he goes off, not really interested in being there. And then he learns valuable lessons about friendship, about being honest with your friends, about just friendship in general. And and Corbin Bleu is one of the counselors there, and he comes alongside Jake. And then the bad guys come to get their Nintendo Switch back, and it becomes Home Alone at the end of it. So, should you see this movie? I live in evangelical Southern California in Orange County, and this movie is perfect for that audience. It's safe, it's fun, it's got a positive message, and it's somewhat got a Christian message in it. Honestly, if you're gonna make a Christian movie, I kind of want to see more God in it. There's allusions to it. There's they use the parable of the mustard seed as a learning lesson. So look, this falls right in line with the faith films that I grew up with in terms of quality. It's probably has better production values. I think it helps that you have actual stars in it in Corbin Bleu and Christopher Lloyd, so there's money put behind it. Sean Olsen, he wrote and directed it. If faith films are your thing, this is the one. As much as I'm a good Christian, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of faith films. And I felt the same way watching this coming out of the end of it. It's like, okay, it'll go right up on the shelf with all the other faith films I've seen. But look, I live in the city where this is perfect for. I live in the county this is perfect for, and it will make money in our county.
All right. Well, I first of all, I may not have been on camera, but I heard your entire review.
Yep.
I'm so glad I didn't go see this. I'm glad I didn't go. It's just not for me.
No, it's not.
It's a family movie.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look, you could say Sound of Freedom was a faith film. And that just tells you how good it can be, how the genre can be. It's definitely set for the family crowd. It's also set for younger teens, so the preteens. I don't see high schoolers exactly latching onto this unless you're church going high schoolers. But it's pretty par for the course for when it comes to faith films.
Cool. Quick super chat that came here from Shang Hu for 1429. Says, I agree with Alan. Don't try to launch a new DC universe. Just make a good Superman movie. Afterwards, if it's successful, you can build on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying this. I think that's 100% true.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, we're gonna pivot again because we have more films to talk about, and we're gonna get to One Piece. I promise you, we're gonna get to One Piece. Okay, we've just got a lot to discuss. So, Alan, we're gonna talk about another film that you saw that I didn't. Where is
Are
it?
you sure?
Yeah, you didn't put it in the
Because
thing.
the background. Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to put that in.
Well, Outlaw Johnny Black.
Next to each other.
This is what I do is usually the night before. What I do is I prep the things that I'm supposed to prep for the show. I prep.
Yeah, and we also have a website. We also have a website that I have to prep every night.
Mommy and Daddy are fighting.
Well, let's just say we don't normally do 8 reviews on a Friday, but we're doing 8 reviews today.
We're doing about 8 reviews. Okay, but
on the website. And this is just the website alone.
Not just well, because there's a lot of movies are opening today. This is the thing.
Yeah, and Toronto Film Festival is going on right now.
You have plenty of time, Alan. All right. Tell us about the Outlaw Johnny Black.
Okay. Is that the right background there?
Who cares?
That looks like a hunting in Venice.
I don't think you put one up.
No, I did. Here, I'll grab it among the other things that you want me to do here. All right. There we go. Outlaw Johnny Black. If you've seen the trailer, this is Michael Jai White. He plays Outlaw Johnny Black. He's a former he does gun tricks. His family as a child went across the West doing gun shows, and he's grown up. His family was murdered by some really bad white people, and so he's living his life right now, trying to avenge the death of his family by killing Brett, the gangster Brett. Sorry, I got to pull my notes up here. He's scouring the land trying to kill and murder Brett Clayton, but in the process, he accidentally murders someone himself. He is arrested, almost sent to the gallows. He escapes, and he meets up with Reverend Percy, and the two of them have a quick adventure together. But ultimately, in the end, he takes the identity of Reverend Percy and goes off to the small town where he was going to become the town's pastor. Reverend Percy, on the other hand, is brought into a Native American tribe and married off to a very mannish-looking maiden. So it's just basically, this is a comedy. It's one of these revenge type comedies. Eventually, Reverend Percy gets back, and the two of them have to maintain their false identities at this point. And if you watch the trailer, I think it gives off of the vibe as trying to be kind of a modern day Blazing Saddles, and it just doesn't work. I've been watching a lot of Michael Jai White's movies lately. He's been doing a lot of indie action films, and it seems like that he's kind of brought himself. He's resigned himself to saying, "This is how I'm going to spend my career, is just making indie films, making indie action films." And he's kind of branching out now to do. It's more of a comedy than an action. There's action, but not enough of it. And the comedy here is, I would just call it as silliness. There's some sexual innuendo, which is kind of funny. There's a good N-word joke, but it's just
what's the N-word joke?
It's the N-word joke. Oh, yeah, of course. Look, you got to watch the movie to find out, because it's a good joke, and I'm not going to ruin the joke. It's an N-word joke. So Back to normal. Thank you. Uh, I'm not telling the N-word joke. But first of all, they don't say the. Okay, never mind. I don't want to ruin the joke. Um, but the thing is, okay. So here's the prime problem with this movie. It's slow. It's slow paced, and that's bad for comedies. The jokes need to be more rapid fire. There need to be 200% more jokes, twice as many jokes than we have. Um, and it's just, you know, I walked into this movie wanting this to be great, wanting to be funny, and it just, it just under delivered throughout the whole film, and I just really walked away feeling disappointed at the end, and
All
so
right.
not a recommendation. No.
Not a recommendation for Outlaw Johnny Black. Let's
If
go
you
to
want a
our
good N-word joke, there you go.
Wait, did you say you had one or?
No, I don't have one. No, I'm not going to ruin the movie by telling the only good joke in the movie.
Which is what kind of joke?
It's an N-word joke. It's a nice guy joke.
That's getting clipped. All right. Let's see. Brock Samsonite says, I heard it's like a cowboy version of Black Dynamite. Is that accurate?
It tries to be. Let's just put it that way. I think you're just gonna find yourself. There's too much space between jokes, and the jokes are, they're more observational jokes, character jokes. Hey, I'm a silly this,
Cool. And then Dennis Wright says, I love the disorganization. We'll just show up every show and you'll see us be disorganized. Don't ever be perfect, goes on to say. Well, thank you for that. A super chat 999 from Chewy Established 1973 says your Bert and Ernie scale should definitely be rubber duckies for fresh and pigeon poop for rotten. Well, there you are. That works. Let's see. Now we're going to pivot to another review of, because we have a lot of films to review. Alan, The Retirement Plan. Hang on.
Did you not see a movie this week?
I saw a bunch.
How am I doing 3 reviews in a row? All right, there we go. Okay, let's do The Retirement Plan. This is Nick Cage. We're gonna have Tim Brown on. But basically, if you've seen The Baker, this is a better version of The Baker. Let's see, Ashley and her husband. So Ashley and her husband Jimmy, they're involved in, they've been kind of on the wrong side of the road for most of their life. They get involved with a gangster, Donnie, played by Jackie Earl Haley. Jimmy steals a hard drive from Donnie with important information on it that could take down the entire crime syndicate. And so he has the hard drive and plans to blackmail and get some money and live the good life. But plans go awry. Donnie finds out, and Ashley puts the hard drive in her daughter's backpack, her daughter Sarah's backpack, and then sends her off to the Cayman Islands to live to find protection from with her estranged father, Matt, played by Nick Cage. They've not talked in a very long time, but he has a particular set of skills and would be the perfect person to protect Sarah. So she sends Sarah off to Matt, to Grandpa Matt, and there's, you can kind of see where the movie goes from here. When Ashley and Jimmy are caught, Donnie sends Ashley to get the hard drive from the daughter, and sends Bobo, played by Ron Perlman, with her, and now it becomes this adventure of trying to get the hard drive back from the old guy, and of course we underestimate the old guy, and that's the rest of the movie, where it's this kind of cat and mouse. I'll just say this: it's a fun movie. Not the stakes aren't that high. This is probably the version of Nick Cage you see here is the more normal Nick Cage. I think this is if you knew Nick Cage, I think that's the guy you get here. It's not like Pig or Con Air or Renfield, where Nick creates a just over the top type character. This is more normal Nick, and it's just this is meant to be fun and it's meant to be low stakes, and it's definitely a popcorn movie.
Okay, I saw the trailer for this. It looks really fun. Like Nicolas Cage, and we're going to talk to the director later. It looks like, so I've only seen the trailer. I've not seen the movie. I mean, Nick Cage is a genre of film, and it looks super fun. Just the tone of it and whatnot. Ron Perlman as the heavy, getting beaten down it looks fun. So if you check out the trailer after the stream. I thought the retirement plan looks fun, and I want to see it just because. Why? Nick Cage. That's why.
Yeah.
So
yeah, let me liken the comedy and the action. It's like the A-Team. Yeah,
like
it's
the
just
eight, like
the A-Team. Yeah,
Oh.
you ever watch the A-Team with?
Of course,
Mr.
when I was a
T
kid.
Yeah, that's the kind of vibe you're gonna get from this movie.
Yeah. Some quick comments here before we tell you about another film. Brock Samsonite says Nick Cage is having his own personal indie film renaissance. And Ron Smith says, you had me at Nick Cage. Well, there you go. So there you go. Yeah. Just a moment, man. I'm sorry. I'm just dealing with a couple of things here. It's
Okay. So yeah. Have nothing to say. Just have fun. It's a popcorn movie, and that's how it is. And we'll have the writer director Tim Brown later on today. Let's go on there you go. Thanks, Chris. Here, let me put up a comment here. Sorry. This is from Slow Computers. This is from Lord Shax. I remember when Chris used to be white before he moved to orange.
Hey, I'm super excited about the Timothée Chalamet Willy Wonka movie, which explains why I look orange. Look, I can't every time. Okay, this has nothing to do with anything. This has to do with my personal frustration battling technology. I turn on my system. I just want to turn it on and go. I just want to turn on and I want to talk to you fine people, very fine people on both sides about movies. I just want to talk about movies. But every time I turn my system on, it's like everything resets and I have to put the settings all back. It pisses me off. So this is me just getting frustrated with this has been a lifelong battle. I feel like this is why I think AI isn't going to do shit. It's not going to take over it's not going to do things. AI is a tool like Photoshop. People didn't stop painting after Photoshop came out. They just did. It's just another tool. But every time I turn my system on, I have to reset all the settings, which takes 20 minutes. A freaking IKEA chair. I'm just annoyed because I just want to get on here and I want to talk to you for hours about movies. And I am an orange gigante is what I am. Wait, take that banner off. It's my retirement plan is just to talk about movies on YouTube and then make little movies on the side. Okay, speaking of movies on the side, by the way, Attack of the Dock is officially sold out.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Attack of the Dock is officially sold out. We are doing another run of Blu-rays, which we should have in stock by the end of October. We're still going to allow people to pre-order the Blu-ray at shop.filmthreat.com. So if you go to shop.filmthreat.com, go there. You can pre-order the second run of Blu-rays. You can get a signed version or an unsigned version, but there won't be shipping until end of October, maybe earlier. I don't know. Like, it's not just like, look, I'm not Warner Brothers. I'm not Lionsgate. I'm just a dude ordering additional Blu-rays. So I'm in line to like when the factory has like time on the press, not taken up by a major studio. I'm just this indie filmmaker. So in any case, go to shop.filmthreat.com. You can get this shirt there, actually. This is one of my favorite designs that we've done.
It'll make a great Christmas gift. Like, your grandmother who watched Attack the Show back in the mid 2000s.
Your grandma who used to jump into cream pies and all of that. Anyways, all right. Sorry for the quick commercial here. We've got a lot more films to review. So actually, let's just get to comments. Lost me at Ron Perlman, says Kevin Apple. Any relation to Tim Apple, who works at Apple? Stitch, no excuses, Chris, except your orange fade. I'm just orange. And then IRB normal just puts a bunch of oranges. Chris Gorange. All right, says X McDouchey McDouche X. Lod 689 says there is no uproar about wearing orange face. So you're cool, Chris. All right, yeah, that's right. I'm just gonna go in orange face.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in orange face. So yeah.
It's the only non-racist color there is out there.
Oh my God, folks. I don't know what's going on with me this morning. From Rumble. Lord Shax, Alan puts Faith Films on a shelf. I wonder if he's ever seen Comics Division there.
It's funny. I've only know Comics Division from FNT, and even then I don't know much about him. So apparently he's a Christian. Is that what I?
No, he's very short.
He's very short.
Very short in real life.
I get it.
Very, very short. I've seen him. Tom Siebert, very high percentage of clever people watch and comment on FT. I love it. I love it. This is to me, the chat makes the show, and I appreciate that. Imperfect says, I love listening to angry Chris Gore struggle through poorly written chat comments. Well, yes, I learned the King's English. So when I'm reading it, I'm trying to decipher sometimes what people are saying, but whatever. Look, if I'm reading a book, I have standards for grammar. If I'm reading a comment on the internet, I don't care. I want to just get the sense of what you're trying to say, and that's fine. For two, a super chat. Slayer 96 DA the second. My Goody Bud movie will be delayed until next week. All right. No BS. My grandma, who was in her late 70s in the 2000s, used to watch G4 TV all the time, says Chewbacca. Oh, that's hilarious. So there we go. And can we get Olivia Munn? Can we get it signed by Olivia Munn this time, says Toasty Danny.
Can we?
No.
Do you try this time?
No. But we are going to do, we're going to do when the new Blu-ray comes out, we're going to do a watch party. How about that? We'll do a watch party. So, because I think we'll be on streaming by then. So, okay. So this is my promise to you, everyone watching. We will do a watch party for Attack of the Dock when the Blu-rays are back in stock, which sometime in October, late October. And we'll promote that, hey, it's out now. And then we will do a watch party. So I'm going to have people who worked on the movie, other people from G4 TV, and we're going to watch Attack of the Dock together with live commentary and your questions and comments. How about that? We'll do it on a Tuesday. We'll do it on like a Tuesday afternoon or something. Does that work for everybody, or should we do it on a different day? I don't want to conflict with a show that I watch. Maybe we'll do it like a Wednesday night because nothing's happening Wednesday night.
Well, I mean, just say it'll be down the road and we'll nail the date down.
I'll figure it out. Yeah. And we're going to do it, but I want to do that.
No promises right now.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. We got to pivot again because we got more to discuss. So just give me a second here.
Shake it like you mean it, baby. Come on.
Clip that for a short. Glenn. Clip that for a short. Clip that for a short. I know where to scratch. Scratch. Okay, now we're going to talk about a movie that both Alan and I have seen. It's A Haunting in Venice, directed by Kenneth Branagh. Also stars some of his cast actually from Belfast, which is a movie I quite enjoyed. Very personal film for Kenneth Branagh. Jamie Dornan is also in this, and the young boy who plays effectively Kenneth Branagh as a young kid.
Yeah, Jude Hill.
Yeah, he is also in the film. Uh, and Haunting in Venice is also the continuation of the Inspector. What's his name?
Poirot.
Oh, wait,
Hercule Poirot.
yeah.
Poirot.
And this is a mystery involving are there real ghosts? Are there real spirits that can be summoned from another realm to talk to us, to talk to the living? And I was thoroughly bored by this film. I just was it was a struggle to get through it for me. And I really like Kenneth Branagh. I like him as a director. It feels like this movie was shot over COVID. Uh, it just too much of it felt a little digital. Uh, I I I was expecting like a fun murder mystery. The plot just plods along. In addition to Tina Fey, who I happen to like. I like Tina Fey a lot in comedies. I think she's in SNL. I think she's really good, and I've always enjoyed Tina Fey. You know, I just this movie was insufferable to me. Alan and I saw this film actually together, and by the way, we went to a pre-screening reception where they had food and drinks, champagne. It was awesome.
Because we're
Not
clout
enough.
chasers. That's why we're clout chasers.
Well, no, I always show up to things early, Alan. And I don't know about you. So we saw it at the El Capitan Theater. There was a reception which lasted 45 minutes. We're going to get you plowed with alcohol to see this movie. And to me, you know what that told me? This movie's not very good. And the studio does not have confidence in this film. And it was not, I did not like this film at all. Nothing about the surprises and the twists. Michelle Yeoh is in it, and I'm not going to give away because it's a murder mystery. Obviously, anything plot wise is going to ruin the film if you have any intention of seeing it. But I do not want to see this film again. I didn't see the previous film. Murder on the Orient Express was the other one,
I
right?
have. Yeah.
Okay.
It was Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express.
All right, so maybe you, but I did not like this film at all. Cannot recommend it. It's in theaters this weekend, and I talked to a friend who saw it on Thursday. My buddy Tyler Disney. He's part of our movie meetup group. Tyler went to see it. He said he was the only one in the theater. Literally, he was sitting in a theater by himself watching this film. I just it just. And also the thing about Tina Fey, I failed to mention, Tina Fey acts like Tina Fey.
And she was probably the best thing in the movie.
She might be the best thing in the movie in terms of entertainment value. She also sticks out like a sore thumb. It's like, what is Tina Fey doing in this movie?
Mm-hmm.
Did
her
not like
character
it.
was very Tina Fey.
She just basically was Tina Fey in the past. Like she's a time traveler. Talk about the plot, you're just going to ruin like who gets murdered and then what the reveal is at the end. I don't want to get into it because I just don't care. Alan, what did you think of A Haunting in Venice?
Yeah, I liked it better than you did, but barely. I think I appreciated the characters. I think there's some decent acting going on here. I took my daughter with me, and she's into murder mysteries and she hated this movie. But let's just put it this way: if you saw Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, you're gonna like this one. It's more of the same. I think I'm accepting the fact that either the series is not that interesting, or just Branagh's not doing a good job. But I appreciated it for the acting performances, and so I would just say it's right on the border there. And if you've got to want to see it, want to see it. in order to see it. I cannot give it a general recommendation, but there are good things about it. So
So,
that's
so your recommendation is kind of weak. It's a tepid recommendation.
but I mean, I like the thing I like about the series are the characters, not necessarily the story, and the reveals are kind of okay. But the problem I had with this one is the accents, especially up front, were so heavy that I was really having a hard time understanding dialogue. And so that kind of pulled me out of the movie from the beginning, but then I just kind of got into it. But look, if you like the series, this is a nice third one. But I could never convince you to say you need to see this movie because I'll fail at that. Absolutely.
All right, let's go to your comments here. Immortal Remus, if it's a Hercule Poirot story by Agatha Christie, we pretty much know what the ending is going to be. Thank you, Immortal Remus. Gunho Mac, who's a member, says yawning in Venice. Ron Smith says a third Poirot movie. Why? The last one bombed. I will never do.
Is that how he wrote that? He wrote that with a
he wrote it in a. Ron Smith wrote this in a French accent. I was reading it correctly. The last one bombed. Why would you have a third Poirot movie? Ryan Landis says, "Wow, too bad. Great trailer." I actually did think the trailer was very good. Kudos to the trailer people who cut the trailer. Stitch, that's a shame. Cast looked good. The thing is this, look, I'm telling you I can't recommend this movie, but if you have AMC A-list, you can see 3 movies a week. You might as well go. Might as well go see the movie for fun.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, go see a different movie.
Yeah, I would say I think bored is the worst thing you're going to feel about this movie.
Right.
The performances are good. And I will say this, I think Kenneth Branagh tends to do adaptations very well. And I kind of feel like maybe this series was not meant to be adapted.
Yeah. Ron Smith says fun murder mystery calling Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, nothing like The Glass Onion.
Cockney Jim says want good Poirot, watch the ITV series starring David Suchet. I'm pronouncing that hopefully French. Tom Siebert, I've never seen Tina Fey in anything ever where she had romantic chemistry with anybody. Gonna agree with that. Hardcore agree.
I don't think Tina Fey is known for her acting ability.
Right.
She's Tina Fey, and that's what you're casting.
She's a comedic actress. And I think she's amazing at comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And there you are. Gunho Max says Alan is calling the movie an ugly chick with a nice personality.
Yeah. That'd be fair.
Is that true, Alan?
That would be fair. Yeah.
Geek Truth 64 says Haunting in Venice doesn't seem to know its audience. Hercule Poirot is generally for older audiences. Most older audiences don't like horror. Agree. Yeah, I think this movie's going to bomb.
Okay, the one thing I do appreciate about this movie is the religious aspect of it, because Poirot is an atheist, and there are conversations that kind of challenge that, especially with the supernatural nature of this film. And I like that.
MM, who's a member, says Paulie liked it. Chris, please explain to the chat why you hate Paulie, Hispanic Heritage Month, and Latinx everywhere. I love Paulie.
Yeah, why, Chris? Why do you hate Paulie so much?
Yeah, why do I hate? First of all, I love Paulie. He's like we are genuinely friends in real life. He is a good dude. Had very deep conversations with him. Awesome. I do think that Hispanic Heritage Month is stupid. I think Black History Month is stupid. I think all these months are stupid. It's just a way to divide people. And it's a way for corporations to pander to certain segments and demographics so that they can lean into stereotypes. And it's stupid. All of those months. National Donut Day is stupid. There are too many days and there are too many months. I cannot stand any of them. And anyone, I don't know any person in my friend circle who's Hispanic or Latin who uses the term Latinx. That's a white liberal term that is dumb and condescending. So I can't say. And look, our military, they get 2 days a year. People who have sacrificed for my country, for our country. I can't say. Not everybody who's watching this is from the United States. We have a lot of international viewers, but like my grandfather who was in the Navy during World War II, or my uncle who was in Vietnam, they get 2 days a year. But Pride Month goes on. It feels like way more than a month. I think all of this is pandering, and it's a way for corporations to change their logo on their social media and to pander to certain demographic segments. But always the people in charge of doing these things are white people for the most part that don't know anything about the people that they're actually marketing to. So they are completely stupid and lean into stereotypes, which is just dumb. It's stupid. And I think just stop it. Stop all of these months and days. End them all. Alan, any thoughts on my rant just now?
Yeah. I'll be honest, like Asian Pacific Heritage Month, I don't know what they call it. To me, it always comes off as Asian Oppression Month, where we get to talk about how white people have been oppressing us for all this time. You know what I want? I want American Heritage Year.
What do you mean, Alan? We white people are oppressing you.
I know. I mean, that's what it is. It's where we put out all the movies and the TV shows to talk about the struggle we've had against white supremacy. Again, what I want is American Heritage Year. How does that sound?
Well, here's what I'll say, because I feel like there's currency on social media in victimhood.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I will tell you on this. Quote me on this. If you choose to be a victim, you become your own oppressor. Okay? And you very carefully listen. If you choose, you make a choice to be a victim. I could wax on and on about things that happen in my life or whatever, tragedies in my family. I go on and on. The fact that my family was so poor, couldn't send me to college. Okay. I dropped out of college because I was working 3 jobs. I was doing newspaper routes when I was 19. I worked a newspaper route during the week. And I worked at a video store. And on weekends, I worked at a restaurant washing dishes. Worked 3 jobs. You know what? It made me a better person. I think that helped build character. I appreciate it because when I bought a car, or I bought things that were for me, or I paid my rent living in this little 1-room tiny place in Detroit, that builds character. I never saw myself as a victim, ever. You choose to be a victim, you become your own oppressor. It makes you weak. And I think anyone who chooses to be a victim or celebrates their victimhood on social media is a fucking moron. It's disgusting to me that this is celebrated and exalted, and you're giving social media little hearts and likes and whatever. Those people are morons and will amount to nothing. Don't choose to be a victim. And I love Pauly. I just don't like Hispanic Heritage Month or Latinx the term because it's stupid. And I'll just say this.
Yeah. Well, hold on. You need to continue that because people are going to clip "I don't like Hispanic Heritage Month" and end it that way.
I don't
But
care.
it's just these months.
No, I'm saying
everything's a month, and yeah.
You know what? How about Military Appreciation Month? Those who died in service of this country month.
Well, I mean, look, my mother immigrated to the United States at 10. My grandfather, her father, came here 100 years ago. My grandfather on my dad's side came to America 100 years ago. And there's a reason why they left China to come to America. And mind you, when they came to America and moved to California, There were laws on the California Constitution that said Chinese could not own property in the United States or in California. So yeah, there was oppression. Certainly if I told you my grandparents' journey here, there was oppression, there was racism going on. But the thing is they worked hard. They created successful businesses, the both of them. My mom and my dad are, created, went to college, had successful careers. My dad freaking put a man on the moon, for crying out loud. My mom was on the forefront of computer technology in the 60s. Look, the one thing that we never did in our house was complain about America. We never complained about white people. I like to say is we hacked the system and people don't understand it. And so for us, model minority, that's what we get called. And I hate to say it, but yeah, we succeeded, and we take pride in that. I'm here today because of the hard work my parents put in, all the challenges and struggles they put in. And the life I live today is a result of all that. So hell yeah, I'm proud of my parents and I'm proud of this country. And I'm proud that this country gave them the opportunities to succeed in life. And so F all this.
Well, save your pride for Pride Month, Alan.
Yeah.
A few more comments because we still have 2 more things to discuss, and then we have a special guest coming on. Patrick Burt says, wow, Chris, I totally agree with you, but you said it best. Choose to be a victim. You become your own oppressor. Put that on a t-shirt. Love it. Just remember that. Just remember, it's to me, it's obvious. Like maybe it was my upbringing. My family never, even though I grew up like maybe not under the best circumstances, single mom trying to raise us. And I didn't even know because I was so loved by my family. I had amazing aunts. My Aunt Debbie and Diane were incredible. I was surrounded, my grandparents were effectively like my surrogate parents who took up the slack when my mother had to work. I didn't know that everything seemed fine with me because I had a family who loved me, right? I didn't know I was really poor until I got to high school. And I'm like, why can't I be a part of the ski club? Because that costs money. Thank you for that, Patrick Burt. Robert Paul Champagne, educated rant. Well, a rant that comes from experience. And thank you, Robert. My grandfather's struggles and my great-grandfather's struggles are not my struggles. And I cannot claim their struggles as reason for my failures. My failures are my own. Says, I am not you. That is brilliant. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Well, look, adversity builds character.
Right.
Right. The struggles that my grandparents and my parents went through made them better people. Period.
Yeah.
And I don't think they blame people. They never blamed anyone for the struggles they went through.
Right. Some more quick comments. We have 3 more comments, and I promise we have 2 more things to discuss. who's a member, says, AKA El Otaku, the Weeb Pillar. I know I was having a laugh about how people freak out whenever these guys disagree with each other. I disagree with Alan all the time. We don't disagree on like work stuff is our easy conversations. Like, hey, can you do this? Oh, there's this person. Oh, like Alan and I, like from a work standpoint, we just get along great. Like, but I mean, there's really no, I don't know. There's no conflict.
There's no beef.
No, it's just like, oh, like
we have the same goal. We have the same goal. Make Film Threat successful. That's our goal.
Having said that, we do disagree about movies, but that's a completely separate thing. And I do get a little irritated that Alan doesn't prep the show well and does, he's got to work on that.
Yeah, but look at that website.
Yeah, I know the website's great. I love it. There's too many ads.
That's not my doing.
I know. I asked him to dial it back. We're gonna even do more of that. I promise, folks. I had some people reach out to me and complain. So I hear you. I read all the stuff. Tom Siebert, buddy of mine, worked on Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Delusional Tina Fey thought it was going to get her an Oscar nomination. They added all these dramatic scenes and took out comedy to suit her. Mistake.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
If you make a movie hoping you get an Oscar nom, you're doing it all for the wrong reasons.
And Mrs. Mike MC Wong, aka Desiree, says, so glad I heard you guys say it was boring. So I had super low expectations, but I ended up enjoying the film, like the actors in the movie. With the exception of Tina Fey's kind of standing out, I can't disagree with that comment. And look, you should take all reviews with a grain of salt. Sometimes you agree with things I say, sometimes you agree with Alan, sometimes there are other YouTubers that you respond better to. All of that is fine. All of that is fine. Take what we say with a grain of salt, make your own choices. And my feeling is, look, if you have AMC A-list, just go see it for fun. I love their popcorn. I love the popcorn at the AMC. Last one here. Thank you, Desiree. Always good to chat with you. Z says, would be so boring if you agreed on movies all the time. Also boring if Alan was prepared and on time. Well, Alan's on time for the most part. I'm the one that has a problem because Alan's not the on time. I got to work on that.
Yes. So I pledge to you that I will not be 100% prepared.
Stop it. Oh, come on, man. I feel like I'm whenever like something goes wrong, which is like every time, I always kind of feel like, what am I, Howard Stern and you're Gary Delabate, you know? So there you go. We love your dog. What is this? All right. We love your dog, Alan. How about a plushy dog toy like the Critical Drinker Doggo?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, I just saw Doggo yesterday on his stream. That's the first time I've seen it.
All right. Well, in any case, I don't know. We are talking about doing Film Threat has a mascot named Slate Boy. We're talking about doing a plushie toy of Slate Boy for the holidays. And it'll be a one-time sale. We could do who would want your dog though?
I know. Well, I want my dog, but
no, I'm saying, I mean, not who would want your dog. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Who would want like your dog as a plushie toy? Like,
it's just this running theme that they have.
Well, I don't think Zootopia is Pixar.
It's not. It's a Disney. But it is. Racist, even though I just, but it's the father who doesn't want her daughter.
All right, let's talk about The Inventor. I'm going to have to do a really quick review here, so let's go. The Inventor is an independently produced stop-motion animated feature film from the creative likes of people who have worked on movies like Coraline. Okay, I love Coraline. I saw in the theater like a month or so ago. It came out in like a re-release in a new 4K up-res version. Fantastic. The Inventor is the story of Leonardo da Vinci and all of his fantastic inventions. Leonardo da Vinci, if you don't know, sort of ushered in the Renaissance, where he, unbeknownst to me, and these are things, look, and by the way, these are facts I gleaned from watching an animated movie, maybe targeted towards kids, but I'll just say this. I actually think The Inventor, I'm not exactly sure who this is for, because people just associate anything animated with that's for kids. I don't know that this movie is actually for children at all, because it gets into Leonardo da Vinci's problems with the Pope. The Pope, Leonardo da Vinci kind of discovered the five senses. And by the way, all these facts about Leonardo da Vinci are from an animated movie I just saw. Okay, I'm not saying I'm any expert in Leonardo da Vinci, but in the film, you see that Leonardo is obsessed with dissecting dead bodies, and the Pope is not happy about this. And he does these intricate drawings of, the human heart and the systems that are inside. What he's searching for is the soul of humanity. Where is the soul in the body? Does the soul exist somewhere in the human body represented by an organ? So he identifies the five senses, he identifies different organ parts and what their function is. He also invents things like, a winged person, wings that you can put on a person as a glider, and all these different amazing inventions. He plans this city for the King of France, and they start to build this city, and they're actually taking money from the military budget and to make a statue of the King of France. They're actually taking the budget from that to actually build this functional city with canals for trade to make it one of the greatest cities in Europe at the time this was in the 1500s. And I actually really enjoyed this film because my expectation going in was, well, this is going to be a movie for kids. It's a much more thoughtful film. There are just a few songs in it, but there's the stuff about this film is weird. I almost feel in a way it's like an educational film that would play really well in schools, teaching kids about Leonardo da Vinci. Daisy Ridley does one of the voices. Stephen Fry does the voice of Leonardo da Vinci. And I found myself really enjoying it. It's playing in limited release. I think it's in like 700 or 800 theaters in the US. So, if you're fortunate enough to see it, what I also appreciated about it was the animation style. It's totally Rankin Bass. The Rankin Bass stop motion animated movies from the 60s. I'm talking about like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, those films. It does that with these sort of beady eyes that blink. It also sort of cuts to some 2D animation, which I actually kind of really enjoyed. But I enjoy it. I recommend it if you feel like you'd like to be educated about Leonardo da Vinci. So it's in a way, I would describe it as an educational film that has some very entertaining stop motion. There you are. Some quick comments here. Technology and religion had always been on edge with each other, says Rue Violi. And Seika says it's animated, therefore it's for kids, is a literal boomer take. I've never thought that. What I'm saying is that's usually the assumption. So, like for example, Watership Down, I don't necessarily think that movie is for kids. I think kids can enjoy it, but it's incredibly violent. And Watership Down might be one of my favorite animated movies of all time.
Yeah, I think we were teens when Ralph Bakshi stuff came out.
Seika, just to say, it's animated, therefore it's for kids. That's not my take. I'm saying that's a commonly held belief that I don't agree with, to clarify. Lod689 says, reminds me just a little of Shaun of the Sheep in the trailer. Yeah. Dean Bearden says, regardless of how good Aquaman is, we all know Chris and Alan are the best movie reviewers in the universe, including the multiverse.
Ooh.
And Rogue Grifter became a YouTube member. Share Bear says Da Vinci was on another level. He literally was a genius for his time, ushered in the Renaissance. And this movie kind of goes through a greatest hits and highlights of his life. I didn't realize, like, the Pope is a character in the movie, and Da Vinci just wants to get away from the Pope, just do what he wants, so that he can, like, in peace, do autopsies on dead bodies to find out how the human body works. He wants to understand how it works and where the human soul is. So
the impression I got from this movie is it slow paced, or I mean, how does I'm concerned about the boredom factor in this movie.
It's not paced for kids. Let's just say that. But it's not boring. I didn't find it boring.
Okay.
I love stop motion animation. I used to make stop motion animated movies when I was a kid. Maybe I'll show someday. I made these movies called The Incredible Melting Marvin, which was this green character with googly eyes, and I just had him go on adventures. It was pretty dumb.
Hey, Empire Strikes Back had a lot of stop motion animation in it.
It did. The Tauntauns. The Nerd Far Away says, I want a plushie Chris and Alan in the style of Bert and Ernie, maybe. All right. We will consider plushies. But let's, so the Inventor, recommend if you like stop motion and you're curious about the life of Leonardo da Vinci. Now, we've got a very brief amount of time to talk about One Piece. And we're only going to talk about the first episode. I think this is wildly creative. I was completely surprised by it. I have now heard everyone rave about it, and now I get it. It is a completely different fantasy world on a civilization mainly built on seafaring. with trade and pirates and this cast of characters that we meet in the first episode. Zoro, there's Luffy. I don't know. Luffy is my favorite. This completely optimistic. I don't know. I feel like in spite of like terrible things happening, Luffy always has this bright attitude. What I really also liked about the first episode is its focus on character. We're getting to know all of these characters before they're sent on a journey together, right? And so that's what impressed me the most in addition to a completely original fantasy world. I am not familiar with the manga or the anime, but wow, the way that people are reacting to this, I do plan to binge the entire show, and I will talk to you about it next week after I've seen all of the episodes. This is really kind of a brief early reaction based only on one episode, and I'm hooked because it's just so different. And there are things that you might have complained about if they were in other shows, but the way that they have constructed this universe all makes sense while not making sense, if that makes any sense. So, again, brief comments. Alan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I,
What?
I feel like we're really high on the show because of everything else we're getting. That this is kind of a breath of fresh air from all the crap that Ahsoka and Secret Invasion. This stands out from that, and maybe we're elevating it a little too high. My initial impression was I would much rather watch the anime than this.
For real?
Yeah, because honestly, I feel like I'm watching human people act like anime characters, and it's just not, it's just not doing it for me. I think I would much rather watch the anime over this. Look, it's fine. Characters are good. Story is interesting. But it just feels like it's like it definitely feels like the anime was so popular. Of course, we have to do a live action version, and that live action version has to be with real people, and the costume designs, the way they move, the special effects. It just feels like that they're translating anime as best as they can into the human world. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I've not seen the anime, I've seen pictures of it, and there's something about the art design, the character design that really works in the anime that they're just not really translating well here. And so I get why people like it. I get that it's fun. I think it's definitely whimsical. But I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of these kind of live action adaptations.
Okay, how many episodes did you see?
I saw more than you did. I saw 2.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, look, I'm gonna binge it this week. I'm probably gonna watch it like after
I may
the
not.
stream.
So.
All right. I'm probably gonna watch it after the stream, but
Mm.
we're gonna revisit this again after Alan and I have watched the entire thing. Probably next week. Do you have time?
If these episodes weren't almost an hour each, because I'm busy.
All right, let's go to your comments.
Well, I'll try.
Let's go to your comments. Ron Smith says the character development and the world building on One Piece is awesome. 100% agree. Especially, I love Luffy's power. I have been a huge fan of the Fantastic Four and Mr. Fantastic. I don't think we've ever seen stretching done in a movie well. I'm including all of the Fantastic Four movies that have been done. So the Nerd Far Away says, I'm coming into this with no background knowledge, which is why I will be more inclined to like it. I like the optimistic vibe. I just like it. It's like pirates and adventure, and we're going to have fun in spite. And there are characters that kind of represent, some are not ready for this adventure. People like Luffy, they're very, they're just excited and optimistic in spite of being rejected, in spite of bad things happening. My favorite character so far. So the world is too crazy for me. They can't get hurt, so I don't identify with the characters. The Witcher bleeds if you cut him, so I like The Witcher season 1 more, says Uncle Bernard. JTPRX asks, is the Inventor on streaming? It is not. It is in theaters. The Inventor is in theaters. Just look it up. But I assume it will be coming to
Mhm.
video on demand.
And
Immortal
probably
Remus.
to schools everywhere as well.
Yeah, probably to schools. Immortal Remus. I hear the anime and manga is ending soon, so finally I can start it without falling behind, as I am 24 years behind as it is. Wait, is that real? It's been going for 24
It must
years?
be. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
That's real. Okay, that's bizarre. Oh. Okay. Does everything have to be a remake? So boring, says Caravaggio.
Mhm.
No, I wouldn't consider it One Piece a remake. What I would consider One Piece to be is an adaptation of the anime. So it's based on previously existing material. Almost every Hollywood movie you see made by a big studio is based on something that pre-existed. Why is that the case? Let me go on a little thing here. The reason so many Hollywood films are based on things that pre-exist is because Hollywood is risk averse.
Mhm.
Hollywood is incredibly risk averse. And so what that means is they don't want to just roll the dice and take a chance on something that people might not know about. Even Oppenheimer, it's based on the real life, and we know real life of Oppenheimer. We know most of the story, right? Um, you know, uh, a lot of the comic book movies are based on comic books that have been around for decades. There is a knowledge from the audience that these things already exist, right? Robert Paul Champagne says, yeah, not a big fan of anime or manga.
Yeah.
I hear you. I am also not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of the type of anime. Let me describe it. That feels like I'm in a room with a bunch of 3-year-olds that are talking really fast that all want my attention. I'm trying to be kind here. If I'm
By
in
the
a
way,
room with
One Piece came out in 1997.
the original anime,
Yeah, the manga.
so the comic book came out
Yeah,
first.
in 106 volumes. So that's how many stories you have here.
All right. Well, we're just gonna. I mean, they're already talking about season 2 and what'll happen in season 3. Assuming I have no idea how well this is performing on Netflix. Only Netflix knows this.
Yeah, I believe they greenlit season 2.
They greenlit season 2. So there you are, successful enough to get a season 2. Here's my understanding is how Netflix works. Okay. Netflix looks at their ratings. They have to be of a certain level, and they look at how many people finished it. They can give you data that is precise. They can tell you how many people watched episode 1, how many watched episode 2, how many watched episode 3, and how far they got. And what they look at, this is why Stranger Things was such a hit. They look at how many people started the show and finished all the way to the end. They got all the way to the end of the show. And that is the barometer they use to decide whether or not to greenlight a second season. And the metric they use is if under 50% of people started the show, so less than 50% finished the show, you do not get a season 2. That's how there are certain Netflix shows that don't have a second season, only have a first season, kind of leave you hanging because people didn't finish it. People did not finish it. So there you go. Solomon Thornton says, it's cool, Alan. One Piece live action is not for anyone, not for everyone. Well, the live action to be as good as the anime, of course, but I see the spirit of the anime in it, unlike live action Cowboy Bebop. Thank you, Solomon Thornton. Yeah, I've heard so many people whose opinions I respect. Not that I don't respect you, Alan.
I know you do.
I'm just saying a lot of other people whose opinions I respect have liked the show. That got me interested. And right from the Luffy reveal of his powers, I was in. So, but there are a lot of shows on Netflix that started and then didn't finish. So
you're saying that if people stopped watching the the show halfway through, Netflix believes that they're not going to watch the second season.
Right.
Okay, that seems to make sense.
And
I
Lod
don't know.
689 says, I like that Bert respects Ernie, Alan. Unlike
And Ernie respects Bert.
Bert and Ernie have like this weird abusive relationship. If you really look at it. I'm just letting that comment hang. I'm looking at you like, so.
So I'm going through comments too.
All right. But we're going to talk about One Piece more next week. And I appreciate that. Now we have our special guest that's here with us today. We're going to end the show with an interview with the director of, wait, here. I
don't think he's here yet. I mean, I don't know if he's here.
No, I see someone in our,
Okay.
The retirement plan. The director is joining. We got to do a reset here. You know what I need? I need a video to play while I'm working on all this stuff. So I'm going to tickle you with my lightsaber. All right. Joining us on the show today. Go ahead, Alan.
Okay, got it. There it is.
We have to figure this out. Here's
No, look, you
Before
tell me.
Tim
You need
comes-
to anticipate what
No,
I need to
you
happen.
need to anticipate what I
do it.
need. We just like, okay, we have to divide up these duties better. We're like, you're in charge of this and I'm in charge of that. And then like, there won't be any. Tim, please don't get the wrong impression. Alan and I are very good friends who get along 91% of the time. Director Tim Brown is here joining us. Tim, I don't see you.
Good morning. Well, I'm actually, you can see me if you want to. I'm boarding a ferry. So
Oh.
I'm a little,
that's
I'm a little
great.
off the beaten path today. It's I'm adding an extra layer of excitement.
Oh, this is great. I love it. You're boarding a ferry while you are doing an interview on a live cast on YouTube.
Yes. Well, we need to keep going through life regardless. But yeah, there you go. Boarding a ferry.
You're literally on where are you? Like what city?
I'm in Victoria, in Vancouver Island, and I'm boarding for Vancouver.
Sweet. All right. Well, Vancouver, I hear there's a lot of good bars and clubs there.
Yes, I wouldn't know that because I'm much older and don't go to bars and clubs anymore. But I've heard rumors that there are bars and clubs there of note.
Oh, I hear exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you meant by that. But let's get right to it. The retirement plan is out. Got a review from Alan Ng, my partner here on the Film Threat website. It was on the front page, I think yesterday, the day before. It got positive this morning. First of all,
cool.
Congratulations. Awesome.
Thank you.
Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is a genre of cinema. I think we can all agree on that. How did you convince Nicolas Cage to be in the film? Was it the script? And then tell us what it's like to work with Nicolas Cage.
I think it was probably mostly the script. I believe, I assume his manager gets many scripts a week, so I think he has a choice. I think what drew him to this were two main aspects. Were I think the comedy, and which is really not. It's not a comedy. It's an action film that I always like to say. My tongue was in my cheek the whole time, and I was always sort of making fun of the genre itself. So I think Nick kind of got what I was trying to do. I mean, I'm a Shane Black wannabe probably. So I love films that are irreverent that way and have this, strange sense of comedy at the wrong time, inappropriate time. So I've always kind of I lean towards that, and I think that drew him to it. And the aspect of family, I think he was drawn to. He's a big fan of Kurosawa. He's a big fan of some other filmmakers in Asia that I think have strong family thematic overtones to them. And I think that's what those are the two things that he said that he enjoyed. And of course, he said he really liked the script, but I don't know if he actually did like the script. He said he did, though.
Well, I mean, this is like pure like what Nicolas Cage like thrives in, right? It's this mix of unhinged comedy, but also action. Like, can you tell us like what's it like to like work with Nick? Is there anything you can tell us that maybe people would not know about Nick Cage? I've been fortunate enough to interview him a couple of times when I worked at G4 TV, interviewed him at some junkets. What the one thing that struck me about him, his passion. He's he's so passionate about everything he's doing, and he is a legit nerd. I mean, it's very famously, he has a copy of Action Comics #1. He wanted to play Superman. But is there something you can tell us about Nick Cage that would surprise us, having worked with him now?
Well, I think, you use the word nerd somewhat, but he's a real cinephile. His encyclopedic knowledge of film history and filmmakers, and he obviously comes from a family of royalty in that world. So he must have grown up around it, and then he took his own course in things he was attracted to. But he's consumed cinema as a viewer, and he loves film, and I think we connected on that. But I don't know if anyone is aware. I mean, we all hear Quentin Tarantino can tell you who Kurosawa's art director was, and I don't think Nick's far off of that mindset. He really understands not only the thematic message behind a lot of cinema, but he gravitates to a lot of stuff that I think many people might not gravitate to. So he introduced me to a lot of amazing stuff from the some older films, and so I would introduce him to a couple of things. One of the films that we had talked about, I'd recommended him to watch Uncle Buck, because first of all, I'm a massive John Candy fan, but there's a scene where Macaulay Culkin is peppering him with questions, and I said, and John Candy says, well, you ask a lot of questions. He goes, I'm a kid, it's my job. So to me, that scene with Sarah when they're eating, when he first meets her, she starts peppering him with questions, and I said that scene is sort of an homage to to John Hughes, and to that only kids can ask questions, and then ask questions that are kind of weird. And so I wanted to embrace that, and he hadn't seen the film, so I was pretty surprised. But and then he would send me things like the Scarlet Pimpernel, Leslie Howard film from the 30s, and we would discuss how that. But what really is his work ethic is yes, is passionate, but the work ethic is second to none. The man works exorbitantly hard, not just project by project and keeping busy, but because he truly loves to work. But he really dives into the character, and the effort that he puts in before we shoot is pretty mind-boggling. So he's a tremendous collaborator.
Can you talk about his character development? Like did you have discussions about that, or did he just kind of show up?
Ad nauseum. So I wrote about a 5-page biography on his character, where he was born, where he went to school, how he was raised. His parents were murdered in an incident, and his dad worked for the mob for a certain time. And so I had a whole backstory for him that led up to the point where he ends up at the Cayman Islands. And so I created Matt's history. So whether or not that's on him to use, it's just on me to provide. But I think what he does with a lot of his characters, and I've heard him talk about it before, and one great instance is he said that he draws upon other characters from other movies in the past to feed his character. I think he did it in with The Voice in Peggy Sue Got Married, which was a very definitive choice. Wasn't for everybody. He said, I think it surprised some people when he started doing it, but including his uncle. But in this instance, and Woody Woodpecker for Raising Arizona. So he draws upon that. And I think one of those roles was this sort of Leslie Howard character, who's sort of a master of disguises in the film. And that's what we came to the conclusion in prep and talking about the show was, this guy's an onion. And the outer layer is the Hawaiian shirt, drunken beach bum. But as you peel those layers back through the film, his true core is exposed. So every day we're on set, or depending on what day we're shooting and what point in the movie we're at, was determined. The only way we talk about would be, how much of the onion has been exposed to this point in time. And so we had our shorthand for that. And that was, so his knowledge of cinema is nuts. And I learned a lot and discovered some new things about how to look at a role, how to look at a character. But all the evolution of Matt came from a collaboration from the two of us. And by the time we were shooting the movie, there was very little conversation. I mean, we both knew what was happening, and he delivered every single time.
Great. We have over 500 people watching live on YouTube right now. So that's a reminder to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. But we have questions from our audience. Do you have time? I hope it's a long ferry ride.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can go for hours. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, here we go. First question from Greasy Guido. I have always wanted to know, do friends call him Nick or Nicholas?
I think pretty much everyone called him Nick. That would be, I don't, not pretty formal. No, I don't think anyone was calling him Nicholas. I know he's got other names from closer relatives, but everyone around him just called him Nick.
Gotcha.
And he was very easygoing about it.
Razorburn asks, Tim, I would like to know how you got Nick Cage, of all people, aboard. That's awesome.
It is awesome, and I think a combination of luck and timing, like anything in our business, I think you have to have a piece of luck and timing, and it hit him. He read the script. He must have enjoyed the script, and we were able to make a deal with him. So just I firmly believe, regardless of the screenplay, it was there's a lot of luck and coincidence, and we were filming in Cayman, so maybe he had an interest to go there. He had lived in Bahamas for a while, so getting back in the Caribbean might have been of interest. So yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly, but a lot of luck.
I feel like location has a lot to do with sometimes getting an actor to do something. Like, we're going to be shooting in Austin, or like fun cities that people like. It's an attraction. So, Solomon Thornton.
If it was downtown Michigan, he might not have come.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm from Michigan myself, so.
No offense to Michigan.
Yeah, no offense to Michigan. I'm part of the Michigan Mafia. Let's see. Solomon Thornton asks, what is your best approach for directing actors?
I think just having a really good understanding of character and never ever stumbling on any inquiries they have about that character. As a writer director, it makes that job a heck of a lot easier, because there's not a question anyone could ask me about the screenplay that I didn't know. So that ability and that understanding, if and I communicate my vision to them very clearly, I think then it's a really good understanding. Every actor, I had 10 really phenomenal lead actors in this film, all of which have their own process, all of which have their own style, and all of which I need my own relationship. Like how I worked and interacted with Ernie Hudson was different than how I worked and interacted with Jackie Earle. So everyone has their thing, and I think you just get in early. And Chris Nolan talks about this a lot. He when he was casting, I think Matthew McConaughey, and other directors have had that when they meet the actor they want to cast, they don't actually talk about the movie. They just want to see if they get along. And if they get along, then do we want to work together for the next year of our lives, every single day for a while? So I think a lot of it is just getting along with them, providing them the information, the tools they need to give their best performance, and then getting out of their way. That's really crucial.
Cool. And just a question about Ron Perlman. He, boy, not just in like his performances, but in real life, he seems like a very angry, intimidating guy. Is that what he's really like?
No, not in real life. No. So am I. No, listen, I got to know Ron because he was on island. So we ended up playing some golf together. That's how I sort of got to know him before I cast him in the film. No, he's the greatest. If you're a fan of Ron Perlman, you bump into him in the street, he's the kind of celebrity that would be all the dreams come true. He's just a regular guy. He loves the everyman. I guarantee you he'd rather have a beer with a plumber and an electrician than he would a politician. He's just a man. I call him a man of the people, and he really is. He really is that. He's a man of the people, and I think that myth around this sort of fierce monster of a guy, he's a sweetheart. So yeah, he was pretty good.
Question here from the nerd far away. Hail, Mr. Brown. Just for funsies, would you rather watch a movie or make a movie?
Make a movie. Make a movie. Make a movie. I'd rather make a movie than do anything else on earth. So yeah, that's an easy one.
And Nerd Far Away goes on to say, on a more serious note, do you prefer working with unknown actors or well-established actors, and why?
Well, when you work Yeah, I mean, the well-established actors bring something to the table that you don't expect. I found that with Bill Nye. I did a movie called Buckley's Chance with Bill, and he's a very, traditional British actor. So the and I think he came from the stage. So these guys have this ability to to come in so prepared, and they treat your script like gold. So that's what I found with a lot of the guys that are more recognized. I didn't deal with any, no one had attitude or ego at all. Everybody was there to try and do the best job possible. There was no business around, trying to get someone out of a trailer or anything of that nature. Everyone was, when I needed anyone, I turned to
Oh, the
Oh,
fairy
we're
take off.
oh
me
no, we're yeah.
immediately. So I really enjoyed that.
Another question here. Jimmy Francis asks, "Where in the Caribbean did you shoot? I'm half Barbadian." Oh, did you hear the question? Oh no, we might be
Yeah,
losing
I'm wondering
Tim.
if the fairy is
The ferry is
taken off
going out
and
of the ferry might be going out of mobile phone range. Oh man, we have so many good
oh,
questions. We have so many good questions in the chat from Greasy Guido, Uncle Bernard, Freck PMC,
I lost.
Cynical Finch, John Fiera, Eric Stratton. I have all these questions lined up. I really want
I'm
to.
going to try and connect back in.
Okay, he's
okay.
gonna leave
Oh,
and come back. He's gonna leave and come back. So we'll get back to it
let's
in just a minute here. Alan,
yes, he's the fairy has left the dock.
here's the thing, Alan. All right, you do improv.
Mhm.
You're often tasked with something where you're just surprised with something. But yet on this show, when you're in a surprise situation, I
Yeah, because
feel
you're
like,
usually in a flow. You're kind of
did you
engaged
get in a
in
flow on the
something.
show?
Yeah, look, I'm in a flow in conversation. I'm not in flow with grabbing chats and So it's that's the thing. There's a momentum you build in improv, and that's where the quick responses come in, as opposed to, hey, just come up with something, monkey.
Well, but I know people who can do that.
I know, and they were on G4 TV, and they have been doing it for years. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing I learned. It's you and I know people who have been on television, and you know that happens to them all the time. Where it's like, oh, got to fill that empty space.
Well, I'll just say this: like, having been on television and done YouTube, I think YouTube is harder. YouTube is much more difficult.
Yeah, because we're producing and directing.
Right.
As
Well, yeah,
Sorry, guys.
There we
oh
go.
no problem. Is it maybe better if you're okay, Alan?
think
I just turned my camera off to see if that works a bit better.
Try the camera back on. It's probably you're just in a bad spot. Let's see. There we
How's
go.
that?
Oh, it looks great. It looks great. All right.
Perfect.
Continuing with the
Sorry, guys.
questions. Continuing with the questions. We had a question here from Jimmy Francis who asked, "Where in the Caribbean did you shoot? I'm half Barbadian."
Well, we were in the Cayman Islands for the whole production. We actually lived there. They were COVID free, so we all lived there I lived there for about 6 months.
Wow. John Fiera asks, John Flera asks, was there any Nick Cage performance that inspired you to pick him for the role?
Wow. No. No, it was him, himself knowing that he could bring Matt to life. But it wasn't that I looked at adaptation and thought, oh, he could be because of his role in that or in the million other role. I think he's done over 110 leading roles now. I've been a fan for my whole cinematic life, watching as an adult, watching Nick's movies. So I've loved him for a long time, but nothing in particular that drew me to make him Matt, other than just, I knew Nick would bring so much to the table.
Well,
What'd you think your chances were when you sent the script to Nick's people?
My expectation is the same as always when it comes to cast.
Yeah, maybe turn the camera off then.
Well, I don't know if that's going to help.
Well, it means less data is traveling from the phone to the.
Right.
Yeah.
A good question.
I'm pretty sure he meant to say it was 100%. He knew that Nick was on board, even before conceiving the project. Yeah, try turning the. Let's see, hold on.
that
Okay, maybe we'll.
Oh, we lost him. All right, let's we'll see if he comes back, but real quick, and a note to Glenn, maybe edit this interview when you repost it to our Film Threat Interviews channel. And guess what? We have a Film Threat Interviews channel. So for those of you that enjoy these interviews, or maybe you dip out like, to watch another show.
Tim is back.
Oh, he's back? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Disvat Bidge for 499 says, nice Batman chair. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Tim, you're back. Let's continue with the questions. Uncle Bernard
we needed to get that percentage. What did you think your chances were when you sent it off?
Oh man. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's cutting out again.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah, it's cutting out again. I think we'll have to. I think unfortunately we'll have to leave it there, Tim. Okay, I can hear you. Are you back?
Yeah, are you back?
I can hear you guys now, but it's just coming and going. I don't know why. It normally works fine here, but we can keep trying. And if it cuts out again, I can say goodbye now. But I don't know. It's so sorry.
Okay. Eric Stratton asked, did the near constant wind in the Caribbean Drive shoot your schedule off?
No, wind was no problem. Never really had a wind problem. The heat, however, we were shooting June, July, crazy hot, very, very hot. But the wind, no, never came up. Ha, that's a joke, by the way. It never came up. We had a lightning storm one night, but that was about it. That stalled us for a bit.
You can read these questions if you can't see them. Let's see. Uncle Bernard says, how did you rehearse?
Ha! Independent film, sir. We didn't rehearse.
And another question
No
here.
rehearsal.
Cynical Finch asks, question for Tim. I love that you created a 5-page backstory for the character. Is this common for you to do in all of your projects?
No, I started doing it on Buckley's Chance for Bill, and I heard Michael Mann did it for Tom Cruise on Collateral, and I thought it was just I should be doing it because it didn't help me as a director. It helped me as a writer have a better understanding of this character, so I could never be thrown with a question. If Nick turned to me and said, "Where did this guy to go to school?" I could say, bam, you dropped out when you're 12 or whatever because you're in a foster home. I had the answer on the top of my head. I've never pausing, and
yeah,
so that made me in turn a better director, but really made me a better writer.
Right. Well, let's you're in the middle of your journey right now on a ferry. We appreciate you, Tim, taking the time to join us today. We're going to kind of leave it at that because of the connection.
Did that go through? You didn't hear anything I just said? I probably.
Oh,
no.
We can hear you, but you're cutting in and out. But just want to say thank you. The retirement plan is out on.
Thanks, guys.
Is it on video on demand in theaters, right?
In theaters right now only.
Yeah.
Old school.
Okay. Retirement plan is in theaters now. Director Tim Brown joining us on the ferry.
Thanks, guys. So sorry about this. Never getting on a ferry again.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Take care, Tim. We'll talk to you when your next film comes out. All right. Take care.
I will definitely reach out.
Bye. Sorry about that. It's what can you say? Yeah. It is what it is. But we're going to leave it at that. a few other comments and questions here, but thank you to everyone. We do our best. We do our best. You never know what's going to happen here.
Yes.
Sorry.
IR Abby, IR Abby Normal says, great interview, guys.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And Shrek PMC says, my thanks to Film Threat for conducting this interview. Hey, my thanks for you for sticking with us, the more than 400 people who stuck around for the interview. But we're going to leave it at that. Next week, we're back with Ahsoka. So
the torture continues another week.
no, I keep sneezing. I don't know what's wrong with me here. I don't feel sick.
I'm filling up the gaps here, the silent gaps.
Oh, you finally caught on to like fill up
Yes,
the
that's
gaps
right.
when I'm like, when I go, the thing is this, it should be like, Alan, have you ever been on radio? Radio is like purely,
Yeah.
you fill in the gaps when your co-host is not talking, you keep talking.
Yes.
And then of course you remain there totally silent after I say this. Ah. It's fine. All right. Hey, thank you to you. We will see you next week, next Wednesday. We're going to talk about One Piece. We're going to talk about Ahsoka episode 5. We also have next week a special interview with director Andy Palmer from the Re-Education of Molly Singer, and Same Page director Emmanuel Ramirez will be with us. Plus, Shaky Shivers is coming out next week. I interviewed director Sung Kang. Who is Sung Kang? He is from the Fast and the Furious movies. Yes. I interviewed him. We're going to run that on our interview channel. In fact, I'm going to share right now. If you have not yet subscribed to our interview channel, subscribe to it. Subscribe to it. Here it is. Right here on the main channel, you go, there's Film Threat trailers, and then there's Film Threat interviews, the best minds in movies. Please subscribe to our sister channels here, or brother channels, whatever you want to say. We would appreciate
there's a great interview there I did with Moritz Moore from Boy Kills World, and we talked about working with Sam Raimi, how great it is to work with Sam Raimi.
Yeah, so please subscribe to our other channels. Thank you, chat. We appreciate it. Alan and I, we're not perfect. We're not perfect. This isn't like late night Tonight Show type, but we do have Glenn Brown, our producer, Ms. Pete Coffee waiting in the wings, producing live. We're supported by you in the chat. And I want to thank our mods today, Lord Thoth, Latino Slant, Paulie, love you, brother, Chicago Box. Thank you all. Maybe one day we'll meet Lord Thoth or Chicago Box. Have we met before? Sometimes I don't know when I meet people in real life. It's like, oh, my username on YouTube is, and
that's the big part, connecting the username with the person.
And then Jens Anderson of the Tall Ree is a member for 12 months. Thank you for that. Anarch Kitty 83, fun hanging out at Dragon Con. You had on point cosplay from Scott Pilgrim. I thought that was, follow Anarch Kitty 83 on Twitter. She is hilarious. She tweeted something. Oh, she tweeted the funniest thing, Anarchitty. Oh, says you guys are actually entertaining, unlike late night shows. But Anarchitty 83 on her Twitter feed tweeted, Mercury is in reverse cowgirl. And I thought that was very funny. So thank you, Anarchitty, for that. You entertain me on Twitter. And Carlos Alfredo Lopez says, your imperfect couple makes funny, entertaining, and sincere streams. Well, thank you for that. We're going to leave it at that. Thank you so much. We'll be back next Wednesday at our regular time, 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, and also a week from today back for the Film Threat Livecast. Take care, everybody. Alan, what do you got to say as we end the show?
Okay, well, one thing I need to say is I was on the Paul Blackstrom podcast yesterday. It's on YouTube now. Check out that interview of chat. The link is in the chat.
You mean it's an interview with you?
Yeah. We talked about screenwriting and using improv in screenwriting. And a whole
Share
bunch
it.
of other stuff.
Share it in the Discord. Why don't you share it in the
Okay.
Discord
Yeah, I will.
so people can see it, and then we'll share it on the community tab on Film Thread. DM me on River.
Okay.
Paul and I talk like every day, and then we see each other twice a week, and then sometimes when we see a movie together,
Mhm.
like A Haunting in Venice, where all we cared about was the food and the booze, and then the movie was awful.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, I got to meet Lila that night too.
That's right. That's true. I brought Lila Hart as my +1. I love Lila Hart. She's awesome.
She's great.
Alan?
Let's get out of here.